God bless, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in yet again to Let's Talk About It. Hashtag keeping it real. Today, I wanted to spend some time talking a little bit about investing in yourself, right? But also mainly my fitness journey, what that has looked like from where it kind of started to where it is now. And I think that that all kind of ties into loving yourself, right? Which I already did a episode on, right? Loving yourself in particular after motherhood, right? But I think that it's a very broad topic, at least for me personally. It's something that I have battled with and struggled with for years and years. After motherhood, I think it's where it finally was like, that was when it got as hard as it could have possibly gotten. But I want to kind of talk a little bit about my fitness journey, right? You guys know I'm very much about God, center of everything, family, right? Being a mom life, but also fitness. It's become one of the big things, right? That I constantly post about. And I think that I'm always just looking to motivate other people. I think one of the big factors for me personally is I don't see people, a lot of people that look like me, you know, encouraging other people. What I see a lot of times is the after. Like I see a lot of people that look good, that yeah, they'll post like before and after pictures, but you don't necessarily like get to see the whole journey. They'll post like snippets and clips, but the reason like I post about it, I record and stuff, because I don't look like what I want to look like, and I'm not where I want to be, but I want people to see that I'm motivated, I'm determined to get there, right? And I don't want to just stay, you know, low key, and then, oh my God, when this whole 180-degree change happens, post about it and then just kind of show you snippets, you know, of what it was like before. Not that there's anything wrong with that for people that choose to do that, but again, I just have not seen as many people documenting their journey, like right in the beginning, right in those moments and those days where you don't necessarily like feel super great, right? You've learned to love yourself exactly where you are, because I definitely have, right? But you have a goal like that you're trying to attain, and you're working really hard day in and day out. Like that process, I feel like I have not seen it really out there, let alone people encouraging you, when a lot of times we don't even feel encouraged. And I think that sometimes it's hard to encourage other people, but when I'm encouraging you all, I'm also encouraging myself. Like today is a great example of that. Like this, honestly, this whole week, like I can't really tell you exactly what it is, but I think that there's just times in life where it's like you feel crappy, you feel, you know, shitty, excuse my French, like you just don't feel your best self, you just don't feel great, and like you can't pinpoint like, oh, it's something specific. No, like you're just, everything is just like blah. That's how I've been feeling about working out. That's just how I've been feeling about most of my days, right? But I have made a pact pretty much to myself, like I'm gonna stay consistent and I'm gonna show up regardless, no matter how crappy I feel, no matter how much I don't want to do it, because it's a promise that I made to myself. Like I owe this to myself to show up for myself day in and day out, regardless of how I feel. And ultimately, I do feel proud. When I'm done, I feel proud that I showed up and that I didn't quit and that I didn't let my emotions get the best of me. And I think that that's why I encourage you guys, even when I don't feel great, right? Even when I look at myself and I'm like, yes, I love myself how I am, right? But I'm not maybe as far along as I would love to be, right? Like sometimes we want things like microwave style, let's be totally honest. We do, like, do we necessarily want to wait like 5 years for results? Do we want to go through 4, 6, 8 years of school to get a degree? No. Like if we could have it, maybe pay a little more to get that degree, you know, in half the time frame, we probably would, right? And we love to take shortcuts, right? We would love things to be faster, results to be faster, but usually things that are worth it, they take time, right? Not everything that comes to us really fast is really all that worth it. So, you know, I try to keep myself encouraged, and I try to encourage you guys as I'm on this journey, because it hasn't been as fast, it hasn't been as easy. My journey is very much my journey too, right? So that I've also learned to love and embrace, and encourage you guys to love and appreciate your own journey, right? My only goal is to encourage you to show up for yourself, whatever that looks like, right? because it may not be about fitness, it may be about doing something else for yourself and for your mental health and for your, you know, your well-being, whatever that looks like, dedicating time to that. Maybe it's going back to school, maybe it's taking up a hobby, maybe it's finding your passion, switching careers, whatever that looks like. That is what I'm really encouraging. It's not even about fitness, it's about doing something for you, doing something for present you, future you, that will make you proud, that it has nothing to do with anybody else. And that is what I want the message to translate to people, is that my fitness journey, it's not about anybody else. This is not about looking like anybody else. It's not about looking good for anybody else. This is literally about nobody else other than me. That's why I love and appreciate like the comments, the encouragement that I get from people that tell me to keep going. Like, thank you guys. Like, that definitely does encourage me. And I hope that what I post and the content that I post in regards to, you know, just showing up for yourself encourages you guys, because ultimately, like, this is for me. I do this for me. I'm not doing this for anybody else. That's why negative opinions I don't really care for, and people's personal thoughts on like my fitness, eating habits, my body, anything related to that, I don't care for it. And I'm not welcoming of it either, of any negative comments. Again, everybody's journey is their own, and that is in fitness, that is in life, that is in everything. We're not all on the same clock. We don't all have the same goals, right? Ultimately, one of the things that I think has helped me very much is changing the way that I thought about fitness. Like, the goal was always like lose weight, be skinny, like, you know, go down sizes. Like, that was always, I think that was always typically what I thought about and what the end goal was of embarking on fitness journey, because I have picked it up and let it go many times throughout life. I even shared, like, before I got pregnant, I was going hard and I was happy. I was very happy with where I ended up before getting pregnant. My goal was to lose a couple pounds because I knew I would put on a couple pounds. But it was always about that, like just not having excess weight and being skinny and all these things. And I think that a big part of that is I was just always the fat kid growing up. Like, I was always chubby. I was never skinny. I was always compared to my sister as well. My sister always happened to be skinny and I was always a chunky one. So even more of like, I grew up always hearing that in my house, family, like everywhere I went in school, like I was always chubby. I was always chunky. I was always a lot thicker than other people around me and stuff. Always had a very full face. I've never been skinny, you can say that. And I think that mentally, like, I battled with that a lot, right? In almost never feeling skinny. And it's crazy and ironic, and I will share a little bit on why. But that definitely does something to you mentally, right? When you've been kind of put in this box, in this, your fat box, you're chunky. Like, this is what you've been told over and over for years. So that's what's in your head, right? And you think that you fit into this, oh, I'm thicker, I'm fat box, and that's it. Like, it becomes an unwanted part of your identity. And that is, now the goal is to get as far away from that as possible. So every time I embarked on fitness, it was to lose weight, to not be fat anymore, right? To have less chichos, to have less rolls. Like, it was always about that. For once in my life, I'm on a fitness journey that has nothing to do with chichos and fat and all these other things. I actually just want to be stronger. I actually want to just be a better version of myself. And I don't really care what the scale tells me. As a matter of fact, I have no idea what I weigh. And I remember the doctor told me, or somebody asked me the other day, like, they needed my weight for something. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't weigh myself. Oh, this is my nail tech. She was like, you look great. Like, how much weight have you lost? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. Because I don't weigh myself. I'm no longer defining how I feel about myself or feeling good. It's not equivalent to a number on a scale. And everybody's journey is their own, right? If you're looking for a number on the scale, that's perfectly fine. I'm not. And that's why I'm very much about, you do what works for you. I'm going to do what works for me. What works for me is not limiting myself to a number on a scale. Why? My mind has been very opened up in terms of weight and what it tells you. And I know for me in the past, like, it has not been healthy to look at a scale, because it has actually defeated me more than making me feel good. Like, yeah, you might feel good when you see you lost 10 pounds, but then when you see you went back up 5, you're questioning every single thing you ate, every single thing you did and did not do. And you just feeling so defeated that it almost makes you not even want to push yourself harder. And it almost makes you feel like what you're doing is for nothing. So I found it counterproductive to be looking at a scale. Another reason why I chose to stop looking at a scale and allowing a scale and a weight to define how I feel about myself is because I've literally seen pictures where 2 people weigh the exact same, 200 pounds, and their bodies are totally different. What people would say about their bodies would be totally different. One might be categorized as fat, while the other one might be categorized as fit, as thick, as she looks good, and the other one just looks not so good. Yet they weigh the exact same thing. So I no longer define myself by what's on a scale. And a big part of that is also, it just wouldn't make sense. Personally, for me, I weight train. When you weight train, the goal is to lose fat and to gain muscle. Muscle ultimately weighs a lot more than fat. So even if I am successful in reducing the amount of fat, if I am also successful in maximizing my muscle, it can actually outweigh however much I weigh. Like, I actually can increase in weight. And it wouldn't necessarily tell me I'm doing anything wrong, right? So it's, again, just how I've decided to embark on my fitness journey. It's about me being strong. It's about me feeling the best version of myself. And it's no longer about fitting into pant size 2. It's no longer about, having the tiniest waist. It's no longer about getting rid of the fupa. It's no longer about any of that, which to me is senseless. Like, it does not even matter. It's all about whatever makes you feel good. Like, whatever fuels you and you are happy with, whatever that looks like, do that. And that is what I'm working towards. I love myself, but I'm working towards getting to a point where I'm feeling even stronger. Like, I'm feeling so great. Physical aspect, right? And I'm just a lot stronger than I look. Like, I'll be honest, that's where I want to get to. I want to get to a point where it's like, people look at me and they would not think I have the capacity to lift a certain amount of weight, right? Or to do certain things, and I can't, right? Because I'm strong as hell. And you don't necessarily like see that, right? Because I'm not maybe all bulked up, but I'm strong, right? I've worked out my muscles and they're strong. So that's just my personal goal. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what that journey has been like, right? What has helped me. Hoping that it inspires you guys as well, right? Of making your fitness journey your own. Like, yes, you can take advice from people. When that advice becomes negative, right? Or it becomes like, this is how you have to do things, don't take it. You don't have to do things a certain way. Your fitness journey does not have to look like anybody else, right? And I know that that's hard sometimes to not listen to other people, because you might see other people that, oh my God, in 30 days, like, they look snatched, they look great. Yes, but what they're doing sometimes works for them, and sometimes it's just not going to work for you. Like, yes, it's worth giving anything a try if you're fine with that. But I don't want you to be discouraged when something that works for John does not work for you. Like, that is okay. We all have different body types, different metabolisms. There's underlying health conditions for some people that also make it harder to lose weight or to gain weight. Many different things, guys. So don't be scared to make your fitness journey your very own. It does not have to look like everybody else's. Like, I get so annoyed sometimes, guys, because I'm very much like what works for you works for you, what works for me works for me. Like, that's just who I am. Very laid back about that. I don't impose what works for me on anybody else, and I hate when people try to do that. Like, impose what works for them as if that's the only way to get to a certain goal. And it's not. There's usually 100 ways to get to the same result. And you have to pace yourself. Like, you have to do what works for you, right? There's some people that have the ability to work out 6 days a week. Good for you. Great for you. Keep showing up for yourself 6 days a week. But if for you that journey just looks like, I only have 3 days that I can dedicate to showing up for myself, whether that's fitness, whether that's going to school, whatever that is that you're doing for yourself, then that's fine. Like, give it your best in those 3 days. Things do not have to be black and white. That's pretty much all I'm trying to get at when it comes to fitness. That's what I have learned. Like, make it your own, and don't shy away from your own journey and feeling like you're doing something wrong because you're doing it your way. Absolutely not. Like, being totally candid, you guys know I love food. I post food a lot. I've eaten in some great places. Lord, thank you. I love food. I really, really love food. I watch a bunch of cooking shows. Like, what excites me most about a restaurant is like the food, aside from like the service. But when I go to places, like I'm constantly like looking up like pictures of food. Like that's what draws me in. Like I love trying new food. I don't necessarily love super healthy foods. Let's be honest. I grew up Hispanic, comiendo arroz, habichuela, pollo, lots of carbs, right? Macaroni salad, lots of carbs, guys. So nothing, no broccolis and like, a little bit of rice. No, it was like a big old bowl of rice. Like definitely large portions, nothing healthy, right? So, I lean towards, I do like street food. I like greasier food. I love, honestly, excuse me, I love food. Like, I don't know how else to put it. I love food, right? I know that. For me, eating food is an experience, right? And you're sharing that with whoever you're eating with, which is why I don't go out to eat with everybody too. Just throwing that out there. So I indulge and enjoy my food. And that's just me personally. Like for me, it's a way of connecting with whoever I'm going with, like enjoying really good food. Like to me, it's a fun memory. I love going back home to New York, going out to eat with my friends. And all I ever say is I will pay anything for some good food. I hate paying for food that's bad. Like it's a waste of my time, my money, like food in my stomach. If it's not good, I don't want it. So me knowing that food is like very important to me and enjoying it, I don't shy away from certain things that I eat. Again, my very own fitness journey, that's me personally. Do I think I could be further along if I like cut back on everything that I normally like to eat and just eat like broccolis and greens and all these healthy things every day? Absolutely. Absolutely. I might be a lot further along in my fitness journey. But it's okay. I'm doing it my way, right? I'm not following a diet. I'm not following someone else's guide that has worked for them. I'm following what works for me, what keeps me happy. And what keeps me happy is still eating, the things I like to eat, right, in moderation. That's just personally what I've chosen for myself, right, in moderation. So I'm not going to spend my entire day just eating junk food. But if it's the weekend and I want to indulge in something, I'm going to, guilt-free, not feeling bad about it, not feeling like I have to work out overtime now because of what I ate. Like I work out really, really hard 5 days a week so that I'm not feeling super horrible and bad about the stuff that I'm putting into my body. And I'm not against anybody that is pro green and how you feel your body and all of that. That's all great. That just does not matter to me. And ultimately, my message here is not against anything. It's just you don't have to do things like everybody else does it. Like I'm tired of hearing, oh, I tried this. Like you should try that so you could lose some weight. I don't want to hear that. Like to me, that's negative. Like I'm not asking for advice on losing weight. The goal in itself is not even to necessarily like lose weight, right? I'm working towards becoming stronger. Like that is ultimately my goal. So again, I think that my encouragement, honestly, in all of this is shut out the noise, focus on you, do things your way, right? Forget about everybody else. Your journey in life, in fitness, in everything does not have to look like anybody else's. Like I'm tired of people that think that because they're doing things one way, that's how you have to do it. Absolutely not, guys. I'm here to break that stigma. Do what you got to do for you. Do what works for you. I'm encouraging you. I totally 1,000% approve for you to really just forget about everybody else. Shut out all the noise. Find what works for you and keep at it. If it's giving you results and you're happy with where you're at, keep at it. If not, adjust, right? But you do not have to feel like your journey has to look like anybody else. And that's not just fitness, that's just in life. Oh, such and such is so much further along in their life. Like they're married, they have kids, they have a great career. Good for them. If you're just getting started, you maybe haven't found the one, whatever that looks like, you haven't had kids. Your journey is your journey. It doesn't need to look like anybody else's. There's no rule book on fitness. There's no rule book on life. There's no rule book on success. Everybody hits that at different and gets to where they want to be at different points in their life. And that is okay. Own your journey and be happy about your journey, ultimately. And I talked about the scale and all these things, right, briefly. When I was in high school, my senior year of high school in 2015, and I'm sharing this because it's relevant to all of this. I actually lost 30 pounds in 30 days, guys. And everybody's feedback was just like, oh my God, you look great. Right, raving. People were raving. Like, guys, it was drastic. You know what's 30 pounds in 30 days? Like, that's not even healthy. And nobody was thinking about that. Nobody cared about the fact that, oh my God, she kind of lost like so much weight suddenly. That can't be healthy. Nobody thought that. Everybody was just like, yay, like finally. That was a point in my life where I was actually technically skinny. And the crazy thing about this mentality of being born and raised and always told that you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, and that is the box where you fit in. Although I was the skinniest I have ever been in my entire life, guys, I weighed 127 pounds. I don't think I weighed 127 pounds. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I weighed that. I was so skinny, guys. And I did not feel skinny, even though I had lost a lot of weight, and I knew that because my pant size would tell me that, and I would look at myself and I knew I had shedded a bunch of weight. I never felt that I fit into the skinny box because of everything that had been told and all this like just mental, you're fat, that I have been fed for my entire life. So I lose all this weight, right? And people are raving and people are so excited for me and stuff. I did nothing healthy to get to that point. I was not hitting like the gym. It was not, I've always kind of worked out on and off, right? But I didn't do anything physically to get to that point. Like I wasn't working out and oh my God, this change came about. Oh, I started eating healthy and this change came about. No, I was diagnosed with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. That is your bowel movements, right, might be irregular, and it's usually either chronic diarrhea or chronic constipation. I had the chronic diarrhea part, to my luck, right? Everything that I was eating was just like absolutely leaving my body. I would get really, really sick. It was really bad. Got to the point where I was literally starving myself. No exaggeration, guys. I would leave my house, go to school, not eat anything all day because I knew that anything I ate would just put me in the bathroom for hours. And honestly, this condition was hard, and I had it for years, from the time I was 18 up until I got pregnant with my first daughter, which I think I was 23, 22 by that time. No, 23, 24. So I spent a couple years, honestly, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you know how horrible it is that you have to think, when you're out eating, you have to think about how far am I from my house? Like, am I going to have enough time to eat this food and make it home before I get a really bad stomach ache, right? You can't just, go out to eat and then just mingle, and not worry about anything like a normal person. Like, you're literally living kind of tied and subjected to this illness. As as not big of a deal as it sounded, like it completely like ruined a lot of my life. For those years, like it was just super annoying. Going on vacation, same thing, always having to carry like pills, Pepto, different things to manage it, right? And ultimately I'm sharing that, right, because aside from always feeling like I never fit into the skinny box, although I had lost so much weight, people were so excited about me losing so much weight that they didn't even care to ask me like, are you okay? Like, are you sick? And it just it just amazes me how ignorant people can be sometimes. Because like, especially in the Spanish community, I feel like there's this whole big thing about you having to be skinny. Like, who the heck wrote that? Where is that rule? On what wall is that like the perfect body type or the healthy body type is being skinny? Like, I really want to know where that's at. And so people were so excited that I had lost so much weight, let alone not even understanding I was going through a condition. I was not doing good. Like, that joint was jacking me up. It was very unhealthy. My stomach like completely closed for so long. I could barely like eat. It was bad. Like, I was starving myself. It was not healthy at all. I lost so much weight so rapidly. I lost everything. Like, I had no butt, guys. I had nothing. And I've always been, again, thicker. I've always had a butt. I didn't have anything. Like, there was nothing. You could fit two of me into my pants that originally fit me a month before that. And the reason I share that with everyone is like, if we're seeing someone like losing weight or gaining weight, like sometimes your questions, your comments can be very insensitive. Like, you don't know if people are going through health issues. There's a lot of health conditions that can lead someone to gaining a lot of weight incredibly fast. And sometimes it's literally like almost uncontrollable. Medications do little to nothing for it. Same thing with losing weight. How many people talk so bad about the actor from Panther? Oh my God, he looks sick, like making jokes and stuff about his weight loss. And little did we know, like, he had cancer, like he was actually sick. So I just, aside from, you know, letting you guys know and encouraging you to make your own journey your own, I also encourage us to be a lot more sensitive when it comes to body image, body shaming, sometimes even complimenting someone on how far along they are. Like, let's be more mindful, right? There are people dealing with underlying health issues, right? Both that make them lose a lot of weight that maybe they don't want to lose, and others that are gaining so much weight that they can't even control. So let's be more sensitive. Like, let's just be human, honestly, and let's not just be ignorant and in our heads, but think about other people and think about what we're saying and how that translates to others. But ultimately, honestly, with all of this, I really do encourage you to, like, own your journey, your fitness journey, your career journey, your life journey, whatever that looks like. Girl, do you own it? Don't let nobody else tell you that you have to do things their way or anybody else's way. Make the own rules for your life. And thank you so much again for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I hope I kept it real for you guys today. Thank you.